Welcome, everybody, to the Rock Pile Podcast. Today's guest is Lady Jugglers head basketball coach John Snyder. His team was just named the Rock Pile Sports Network Team of the Month for the month of January. We're going to dive into culture, success, and what makes this group so special. That and a lot more today here on the Rock Pile Podcast. As always, like, subscribe, follow the show across all social media platforms. Click on the link, order what you need. Let me know if you need anything else. Be more than happy to get you that. If you're looking at helping sponsor any of the Rockpile Mohawk Valley Sports Watch podcast, as always, reach out to me on any of the social media platforms. So without further ado, let's welcome Coach to the show now. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. I said you're my first one because this is a new software, so no pressure today for us.
We'll try.
All right, so Coach, let's start off first for you guys. And I want to look at, we talked a couple times before the season started, and then as the season started, you guys got off to such a good start to the season, played some really good competition out of conference. Talk to us about how much that start, the non-conference schedule, has helped you guys get off to where you are today.
Yeah, it's something, as we've talked about before that we pride ourselves in. We try to make Notre Dame basketball something special, and part of that is challenging ourselves. We don't want to just go out there and, winning games is one thing, but we don't mind losing either. And we just want to be challenged. We want to be prepared. We want to see different styles. We want to see physicality, speed, anything we can find, we try to find it to get us as prepared as we can be for hopefully this time of the season.
And Coach, 8-0 in the month of January. And when you look at this run so far that you guys have had this season, what stands out to you the most about this group?
Well, I'm blessed. It's just a great group. Certainly having our whole team back was something that probably put us ahead of many teams and allowed us to have a good start while many teams are trying to work on things and get a feel for each other and maybe implement offensive, defensive schemes, things like that. And we had a group that knew what we wanted to do, knew the way we wanted to play. We're certainly tweaking things and continuing to tweak things and work on things that we think we can get better at. But we kind of started, we had a high floor, I guess I'd put it that way. And we hope that we can get to a high ceiling.
And Coach, one of the things too is I know we've talked about, any team that you play is going to give you guys their best shot, right? You're the team that everybody's talked about, even before the season started with the team that you had back. How do you keep the team level-headed, consistency, and not have any letdowns?
Yeah, again, I'm blessed. Like I don't know how I do it. I wish I had great answers. We try to focus on those little things. We try to do things the same way all the time. It's not rocket science. I say that to a lot of people. It's just we do a lot of fundamentals. We do a lot of conditioning. We do a lot of, just kind of playing a little bit. Like we do a lot of we have a limited group at times. Like we often practice with 8 or 9, just because of various things that we have going on within our group. And, so we do a lot of 3-on-3. And I think those types of things just help you understand the game. We have a structure, we have offense that we try to run, but we want them to be basketball players. And we talk about that all the time. Anything that we're doing, just try and play the game of basketball, enjoy it, play it the right way. We talk about good, better, best, and, making that extra pass and, just working as hard as we can every single day to be 1-0. We talk about being 1-0 every day so we can get a little bit better every single day. It's not easy. It's not easy. I worry about it every day. It's the thing that I stay up at night still right now, because when you're winning every game, it's a great thing. I have good problems. I say that to a lot of people. There's a lot of people who'd like to have our problems, but it's certainly something that we continue to work on, focus on, and just do those little things, I hope.
And throughout the season too, as all coaches would say, there's peaks and valleys, there's highs, there's lows, and we're trying to keep this team playing at the level that they've been playing all season. If you had to point to one area throughout the season that you feel this team has really grown the most, has shown the most improvement, what would that be?
I mean, it's about players, but it's also about, different strategies and things too. But I think our younger players just taking that jump, that extra year, for Lily Johnson and Jules Otis in particular, who started for us as freshmen and are now sophomores, just the experience they've had, again, getting physically stronger, understanding the game a little bit more, understanding the speed of the game, playing with each other a little bit more. Uh, they've just fit in perfectly. They've accepted their role. They always accepted their roles, but they're just, really growing into what we need them to do. And then, we've tried to have a stronger focus on defense. I struggle with that a little bit. See, we score a lot of points. We play at a fast pace. So I think sometimes teams score points on us, and that makes me a little bit nervous. And it's something that I get on them a little bit about. Again, I think it's part of the way that we play that encourages other teams to score a little bit. I think when we need to get a stop, we generally can, but that's a big focus of ours. We've talked about it more than ever, defense this year, and I think our defense has been better. Again, I struggle with that in some of the games we've had against better teams, but I think part of that is the pace of play that we play at creates that type of atmosphere of going up and down a little bit.
Yeah, and coach, some of the games that I've been at, I haven't been at all the games, but the games that I've been at, it seems like your team is best and when you guys can get out in transition, turn teams over, play it up and down style. But you've also played some games where you've had to win in the half court set.
Yeah, there's no doubt that that is the biggest thing about that trip to Florida that we took. And I think we've even shared that before, but it was just so physical down there. The teams we played were huge. I mean, words can't describe it. You had to see it. I mean, just that was really encouraging to me because I say this to many people. I've always thought people who get physical with us have the best chance of success against us. Certainly slowing us down. And to be able to go down there, and I think the most points we scored in the 3 games down there, if I remember correctly, was around 55, something like that. We won the championship game down there, I think 46-42 or 45-41, something like that. So to play those types of games and have success, again, it creates a confidence level in the team, to understand that we're going to be okay. We just keep doing what we do. It might be a little harder to score, but keep running our sets, keep focusing, keep rebounding, keep trying to take care of the ball. And somebody's going to step up and make a big shot when we need one. That's something we've always believed in. We've always talked about that through all of our runs over the years that we've had is, basketball is a game's a run and ours is coming. And we always talk about that. Like we're as good. We believe that, we have to believe that we're as good as anybody. And, you know, even when we're in trouble or we're down, something good's going to happen if we just focus and play the way we're supposed to play.
Coach, the other thing I was talking to some folks the last couple weeks and even throughout the season, like, everybody has said, well, coach has the Ella and he's got the Trinkus girls, he's got a really good team back. And, throughout the season, they've basically coasted through the conference play. And my argument has been, well, they went down to Florida, they played some really good teams, and you guys played some really good non-conference teams around this area. But some people have said, how does this team block out the outside noise? Like, how do you keep the players? People get on social media, they hear all the talk. They're the team that everybody wants to come after. How do you block out that outside noise and the distractions?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think people are gonna. It's exactly what you've talked about. We focus on the fact that we have to be prepared. We have to play our game. We have to do the things that make us successful every single day because again, we expect the best shot. We expect that more shots are going to go in against us because I think, to some extent, people have nothing to lose. The Super Bowl, the the World Series. We are everybody's opportunity. Not everybody gets to play for championships. We've been fortunate to have those opportunities, and we give that opportunity to everyone to say, "Hey, we beat Notre Dame. We hope that doesn't happen, but we know that it can." And I think we try to keep that reality there that we can't just show up. If you just walk on the court and think, "Hey, we're Notre Dame," and we just win, that's when you lose. So, you know, it's all the cliche stuff. It really is, but it's just, hey, put your hard hat on, bring your lunch pail. And, if we only score 40 tonight, we better hold them to 38. We talk about that a lot. Like first one to 40 wins. If we could keep people around that 40 number, it's a goal of ours. Again, it hasn't always come true this year. And we've made a lot of shots in some games recently, and that covers up some problems. But that's the goal is, if we could take care of that side of the ball, whatever happens on the offensive end, when we have that bad night, we'll still hopefully have a shot when the game is on the line.
Coach, this group I know even before the season started, this was a special group. And I can see it before the year started when you and I originally talked. I can see it on your face. I can hear it in your voice how much this group means to you. And I was fortunate to be at your senior night game against Proctor, and one of the things that really stood out to me as a coach was when they were reading each other what they said about other players. And nothing was about themselves. It was about everybody else. And as a coach, you can't ask for anything more than that. So what makes this group so special for you? And I know they've been playing basketball, a lot of them for a long time, and of course gets a lot of the attention. But some of those girls around her and this team, they have that special bond that you could see it even when they're on the court with each other. They really do love each other and they play for each other.
Yeah, again, it's just an unbelievable group. It was an emotional night on senior night. They are just such a special group. We certainly had great chemistry. I think our trip to Florida enhanced that chemistry, spending a few days down there together, playing tough competition, but also just kind of being with each other and having some fun, enhance that chemistry. And it starts with Ella. Again, everybody wants to talk about her statistics and how great she is, and there's no doubt about it. But that unselfish attitude, people will watch us play for the first time, and I'll have conversations even with college coaches or things like that, and they're like, she could shoot it 15 more times in every game, and she is so efficient. You look at her stat lines, and people will be like, "Are you making those stats up?" And I'm like, "No, she might miss a few threes, but she goes 13 for 15 on inside the 2 point line. You know, on a bad night, maybe she's 1 for 5 from three, but then if she has a good night and she goes 4 for 6 from three, you're in trouble. But that's where it starts. Like, she's the most unselfish star you could ever have. She gets, she lets the game come to her. She gets other people involved. She makes the right pass. And because they all know that, like, everyone around her sees the way that she plays and how great she is, but yet she's going to make the pass to the person who's open. And so they all play that way. And again, that good, better, best mentality that we talked about just is embraced from the top down. And I think that really makes us a special group, I hope, and that will continue.
And coach, you guys end up, I think, with 3 road games. I think at Helen Patton, at Whitesboro, and at New Hartford. I think is the final 3 games, if I have that right. What do you wanna see from your group here the last 3 games of the season before you guys head into sectionals?
Yeah, we actually get New Hartford at home, so I don't mind that one. But three good teams. They're all playing well. Holland Patton's having a really good season. We have them Friday night. I think right now the computers really like them a lot because they've played a tough schedule. The Tri Valley League is really a very good league. So I think they're the 2 seed in Class B right now. Holland Patton is, according to the computers. Um, that'll be a challenge on the road. Whitesboro's done well as a double A team. They've got a pretty good computer seating as well in the double A bracket. And then we finish up with New Hartford, who's right at the top of Class A, and they're right in our backyard. They're certainly hunting us down, and we're proud. There's a pretty good chance that could be a late sectional game as well. They're probably going to be a 2 or 3 seed in sectionals, so we may not see that. It may not be the last time that we see them this year. And again, their familiarity, they're not afraid of us. I know that, and we've had some good games with them, and yeah, so we're looking forward to all three. It's a building. It's still, hopefully we're still trying to get better with each game. And no matter what the results of any of those three are, we'll take those results. We'll hopefully learn from them and win or lose, continue to try and be ready for that next stage. Because no matter what our record is at the end of the regular season, everybody starts sectionals even. Certainly seeding helps, but it's a one game season at that point. And hopefully again we focus on those things that have made us successful, and hopefully we'll continue to do well.
Coach, obviously, as we talk, Ella and Aaron get a lot of the attention, but I think I was saying the other night watching you guys play and this throughout the season, you have a good supporting cast. Jules Otis, Lily Johnson, I say she's the motor that gets you guys going, but talk to us a little bit about the supporting cast.
Yeah, they're great. Again, that unselfishness, a lot of them on a lot of teams could do other things, could score more, could be more at the forefront. And, that's all secondary to our team. And, there's a couple that come off the bench for us too that are seniors that got to start last night, Tessa Arcuri and Jenna Herron. Great kids, hard workers, great personalities. Again, you talk about that team chemistry. There's 2 seniors who even last year as juniors watched freshmen start over them. Again, as seniors are watching sophomores start over them. It doesn't change the way they play. It doesn't change the attitude they bring to practice. It doesn't change their support. they probably would love to, any kid would love to be on the court the entire game, and they're not. But when you hear them behind me, I'm coaching and you can hear who's cheering the loudest. It's oftentimes those two seniors who are cheering the loudest for somebody else making a play. And again, you never know when the moment comes that they may have to play a whole game. Who knows what happens? We try to prepare them for that. I think they are prepared for that. But what I love is that they're what gets us to be who we are as a team because they sacrifice themselves for what our greater goals are and their role in that. And again, they have big roles. There's many times, I go back to Jenna, first game of the year, we had major foul trouble on the road at Liverpool. Who knows how things are going to go during the season? Aaron Trinkus was in big foul trouble in the first half. Lily Johnson was in big foul trouble in the first half, and both Tessa and Jenna came in. Jenna had 6 points in the first half. She's not a big scorer, but she did everything that she needed to do that day. And that's what you're looking for in your role players is when that moment comes, are they ready? And hopefully they will continue to be.
Coach, I had to joke at Notre Dame last night for your senior night. I walked into the gym, and I got to say that people say, "Well, you have your favorites because you always talk Notre Dame girls basketball." And I said, "Coaches all have favorites. They want the kids that work hard and put the time in." So I got to be honest with you. Every time I come to Notre Dame, I'm kind of like a celebrity up there. Your Notre Dame fans have been so good to me, and the community up there has been so good. You've been great. I love having you on, but your community is something special over there.
It's great. I mean, I think it's a big part of our success. Like girls basketball, high school girls basketball, you walk into our gym, it's pretty full most of the time. No matter who's playing, whether it's one of the best teams in Section 3 or the state, or whether it's a team that's a little bit weaker, the support for us, a lot of it comes from family. Notre Dame is kind of a big family anyway, but then we do have two sets of sisters, and they both have big families. The Trinkuses are at the forefront, but the two Johnson girls have a lot of family and extended family, and then just again there's an excitement around Notre Dame girls basketball that I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of the fact that our gym is full, our concession stands hopping, and on girls basketball nights. So I think we put a good product on the floor, and people like to watch it. But that Notre Dame community, yes, we thank you. You're great. We appreciate being on with you. But they're those type of people. They'll support. They appreciate, I think, the work that we've done, and their support helps push us on to hopefully continue that hard work and hopefully some more success.
Well, Coach, listen, I appreciate you jumping on with me. I know we'll do it again soon. Congratulations again on being the January team of the month here on the Rock Pile, and you got perfection going. Hopefully, you guys can continue this thing into a Section 3 title and beyond. It's a special group, and I think everybody in the community across the Mohawk Valley is going to be pulling for you and cheering you guys on. So I really appreciate you taking the time as always.
Thanks so much. Have a great night, and we really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Bye bye.
And to everybody listening here on the Rock Pile podcast, I want to make sure I thank Coach for jumping on with me. The Mohawk Valley Sports Watch will not air this weekend. I'm going to be out of town, but I'll play Coach's episode here this week and let you know when the next podcast will be scheduled. So thanks for tuning in here to the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch here on the Rock Pile. Good things happening across the Mohawk Valley, so make sure to stay locked in to the Rock Pile podcast. Have a good evening, everybody.